Friday, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to This Week in Poker. I'm Christy Arnett here in the Card Player Studios, along with Brittany Giacoletto to bring you guys all the latest happenings in poker news. First up on the list is the winner of the World Poker Tour Borgata Poker Open. Vivek Rajkumar, also known as Psyduck Online, took home the first place prize of more than $1.4 million and a coveted WPT title.
Not only did he snag the title, but he also did it in record time. The 6 final players returned to the felt for the televised final table yesterday at 4 p.m., and by 7 p.m. it was all over. The players who made the first quick exits were Andrew Nee, Mark Safe, Jason Strocek, and Dan Heimiller, in that order.
It came down to heads-up between Sang Kim and Rajkumar, who began with a 4-1 chip lead. The two eventually got it all in pre-flop with his ace-jack against Kim's ace-queen. Rajkumar spiked a jack right on the flop for the lead. The turn was an ace, but the river blanked out. Kim received $750,000 for his efforts.
In other tournament news, the World Series of Poker Europe begins today in London with a 4-day €1,500 buy-in, no-limit hold'em tournament. Following that will be a €2,500 horse event and a €5,000 pot limit Omaha event. And the series will end with a €10,000 no-limit hold'em event.
Last year, Annette Oberstad won the first WSOP Europe main event, which awarded a first-place prize of €1 million. She made history, becoming the first woman to win a WSOP main event and the youngest WSOP champion at age 18. Because the legal gambling age is lower in Europe, we should expect to see another large turnout of young players.
In legal news, late last week, Congressman Barney Frank reintroduced the Payment Systems Protection Act, and the bill was marked up in the House Financial Service Committee on Tuesday. The new bill, H.R. 6870, would suspend regulations on nearly everything but online sports bettors. It would call for the U.S. Treasury and Federal Reserve to work together with the Attorney General's office to establish what is acceptable under the provisions of the Unlawful Internet Gambling Enforcement Act. This would come after a full economic impact study of the proposed regulations.
The first version of the Payment Systems Protection Act, H.R. 5767, would have prohibited the U.S. Treasury and Federal Reserve from finalizing the proposed regulations for the UIGEA. Congressman Peter King introduced an amendment that would require the U.S. Treasury and Federal Reserve to work hand-in-hand with the U.S. Department of Justice to establish what is legal under the UIGEA. It failed to pass by a vote of 32-32. Agreeing that it is unfair to force U.S. financial institutions to implement a law that is unclear, and that the King Amendment makes great improvements to H.R. 5767, Frank and King are now co-sponsoring the new Payment Systems Protection Act of 2008. The bill did pass on Tuesday, making it out of committee to take its first legislative step.
That's all we have for you this week. Thanks for tuning into This Week in Poker. I'm Brittany Giacoletto.
And I'm Christy Arnett for Card Player TV. And hey, if you're feeling charitable this weekend, check out the charity tournament on Full Tilt this Sunday to benefit the Injured Riders Fund for Road to Recovery. The buy-in is $10 and half of the prize pool goes to the organization. Have a great weekend, everyone.